Dear Mayo, it seems as though our last few weeks together were our most meaningful and eventful, and that only alludes to how great our friendship would have grown to be. Though the impact you have made on our community has been great, it doesn't compare to the things you were meant to do had you still been here with us. I love you, Matthias.
I guess I'll start this off by updating you since I know how much we like to talk about our dreams together. NCS rolled around and what do you know it, we made it. Before that race and every race, me and James would look at each other and ask who it was for, the answer being Mayo. I never stopped wearing my bracelet during those races, and when I got to state, me and James even left a spot in the box for you, because we knew that not only that you would have been right there with us, but that you were there with us in spirit. I accomplished some of our dreams, Mayo. I know you would have done better than me, but I promise that I'm going to keep working my butt off for you and making you proud and carrying on your legacy. From Dom.
I've always been very shy, and even though I was, you managed to make me feel like I was a special person who was important. Every time we ran or finished a race and you saw me, you would always say good job or give me a high five. You always continue to inspire me to put my all into everything I do just like you always did, and strive to be the most kind and supportive person to everyone like you were.
I've gained the importance of just living life. Being on my own in college has been a completely different experience, but having people like Mayo in your life and being that light and being able to encourage you and to help you realize you need to encourage others and love others and be kind and be there for one another. It's just an important thing that I've been trying to strive to live by.
We got to talking and he was telling me all about his big plans for cross and for track, and that kid has some big goals. Talking to a lot of people now, he was someone that could have completed those goals.
It's been a year and I still experience the grief like it's the first time. You will always hold a special place in my heart, not only because you were taken away from us when no one should be taken away, but because you were the perfect addition to this team and our family. No one can fulfill your role the way like you did. Love you always.
You were one of the best cross-country runners of all time, not just because of your speed, but because you were the motivation and inspiration for us all to keep moving forward, and I thank you for that. You were one of the best friends I've ever made along this journey, and I'll never forget you.
I just imagined you running right next to me because I know you had been pushing just as hard as I am. I had a rough year, but I always look back on our times together because I know you were someone I could have talked to get through the rough year and the rough times that I had. Every time I start my watch, I run for you. Every time I stretch and recover, it's because of what you taught me, and I try to be a better person every day because of the light you brought to all your family and friends. I love you.
Thank you for taking the chance and becoming friends with the girls who mostly just hung out with themselves. I miss you inspiring me every day. I miss you pushing me after every race. Thank you for being the reason that I stayed in the sport as long as I did.
It's been a whole year since you left us. I had a solid senior season, and I couldn't have done it if I never had met you. I still remember you bearing me in races and workouts, and encouraging me and all of your teammates to push to their limits. You embodied the limitless spirit, and you were someone I admired greatly. Every morning when I'm too tired to start my run, you're the first person I think of, because I know you would have started an hour earlier and done more miles. When I'm at my limits on a workout, even though you're not there with me, you push me to go even farther. You are my light at the end of my tunnel that I will never stop chasing.
This kid he's someone that I would love to get to know. I really wish I got to know him better, but I know that he's made a really great impact in our community, in our running community in Brentwood.
I did a lot of things that we wanted to do together, and it was hard doing them without you. Winning BVALs, going to Tri-Valley, MOC, making state, never thought I'd do that in my life. But I had your love and your wisdom with me, You know, you're a star and you shined on me. And really, I couldn't do anything without you. Thanks for staying with me this whole time.
A year of your passing, and it is still hard to write about this because I know your future was brighter than everyone else I knew of. Running has been hard, and I feel like quitting, but you have been my motivation recently because you were one of the most supportive people out there that I knew of.
Even though I didn't know you personally, you taught me to cherish the moments with the people around me because anything can happen at any time. I'll never forget you, Matthias.
One of the biggest things in running for us, or for me especially, is Black Diamond Mountain Run. It includes this really big hill that's very hard, and I think it's very symbolic in ways where, you know, life can be hard on your own. It could be almost impossible, but you never have to do it alone. And just like the BDM run, I don't even know if you could do it alone, but with your friends, it could be one of the best things in the world. And Mayo left an impact on that run, and he left an impact on my life.
I remember that one conversation we had at Blue Goose Park after practice. Everyone was playing at the park, and you were still stretching. We were just talking about scores we got on our last human geo test, but it is one of the few full conversations I ever got to have with you, and I will cherish it forever. You changed my life in countless ways, and I am eternally grateful to you for that.
Even though you're younger than me, I feel you are someone that has traits I wish I had myself. You have what some would say is crazy work ethic, but I see it as more of an undestroyable enthusiasm for the sport and life in general. I feel that the waves may perfectly describe Mayo as a person. Non-stop and throughout time, they may get larger or sometimes be calm, but they are always there, just like he was, as a friend, as a competitor in the sport, and even in school. You are Mayo, and that is what we loved so much about you.
You had such an impact on me. Because of you, I've just grown to appreciate and love the sport of running so much because of how much you loved it. And just thank you for everything, Matthias.
My brother Anthony loved you, and he always told me how happy he was to be teammates with you. He always told me how you inspired him and reminded him to look more positively on outcomes. For that, I want to thank you. You were always there even when I couldn't be there for him, and I'm so thankful there was somebody that cared for my brother as much as I did.
Throughout all of high school, I was a pessimistic, antisocial kid, and despite being that type of person, Mayo was always the type of guy to reach out to me whenever something was wrong, or whenever he just wanted to talk about like girls or running or whatever. He would always put me on a pedestal, and I guess that's what little brothers do sometimes. I decided to live more like Mayo, and I decided to be more compassionate. I decided to be more in love with running, and above all else, I decided that I needed to be more in love with myself.
I miss our talks about random little things and how they could go on for days. I will always remember our conversation about crunchy grapes and cotton candy grapes. We had planned to go and get them together. I want you to know I tried them for you. Anyways, thank you for always being the first to congratulate me at races and even at practice. I miss your sweet soul and hope heaven is treating you well.
I've missed your funny remarks on random Snapchats I'd post, and all the times you'd help motivate me or talk me through whatever weird running-related situation I was in. Anytime I end up in one of those again, I think about what you would say and how you would try to guide me through it, and it helps, but it's not the same. I hope I've made you proud this past year, and I miss you every day.
I didn't plan on being a coach this year. It wasn't until Eric left Liberty and you were gone that I started to take the thoughts of possibly being a coach more serious. And I think I remember standing on the roadside next to your cross 2 days after your pass, resolute that I'd stay involved in the running community and help out as best I could. You inspired me to give back. You were involved. You would always be involved, and you were always a force for positive change in other people's lives. You changed my life. You changed so many lives. You changed the world. We will do everything we can to make sure that legacy that you set lives on.
Eric at the beginning of camp mentioned how tragedy brings us together.
Despite how sad the reality is, it is true. Your family has done such an amazing job putting together a 5K in honor of you that attracted so many people and helped with this incredible camp that so many of your friends and teammates get to enjoy. You come across my mind all the time, especially when I'm running, and I cannot help but smile because I know how proud you would be of all of us, and you had such a positive impact on my life and the lives of so many others.
It's been a year since you left us. So much good and bad things have happened, but I promise you, I've pushed through and did my very best to keep honoring you by working my very hardest and pushing the limits like you have. Losing you was like losing myself. It hurt. I barely was able to sleep or function at times. Today would have been so much worse if I wasn't here in Lake Tahoe with our family we created. Yesterday we did 40 combined 400s for you and 400 combined push-ups. Knowing you were there, smiling down at us. I will forever love you, Mayo, and so will everyone else you have crossed paths with. Love, Dylan.
In the days following your death, I told a person I loved them for the first time in my life. I'm still awkward and insecure, but I do everything I can to ensure that it doesn't hold me back from the people I care about. It was because of you that I made so many new friends and grew so much closer to the ones I already have. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for my happiness, for my lack of love, and my inability to interfere with the divine. You brought me closer to the people I love like family. It took me nearly the entire year following your death, but I've come to an important understanding. My life isn't better because you died. My life is better because you lived. Thank you for everything, Matthias. I love you.
Dear Mayo, it's been a year since you passed in front of me. PTSD and survivor's guilt hurt me every day. 10 years, you were gone just like that. We promised to be as close as brothers, even after high school. All the food, partying, hangouts, and memories I'll never forget. You accepted me for who I was, and I thank you so much for that. You got me into track in 9th grade. 9th grade was a hard year for me because of certain fake things going around. I wanted to give up. You saved me. I'm still hurting each day now that you're not here. You turned something I hated into my passion. When I put that XC jersey on, despite my injuries, I'm doing it for you, even if it means I collapse at the finish line. I love you forever, Mayo. Jeb.
I have a saying that I repeat as often as I can. If your presence does not make an impact, then your absence will not make a difference. I hope you had the opportunity to recognize the significant impact that you made on so many athletes from all of the different teams in our league. Your absence has made a difference, but your impact lives on in the hearts of the athletes in Delta Limitless.
Dear Mayo, I have missed you so much. I want to let you know that before I accepted the teaching position out of town last year, I made a pros and cons list. And a con of leaving Brentwood that I had written down was being able to coach you. You were destined for greatness, and I would miss being able to see your success up close. And when I made the decision to leave, you still sent this encouraging text to me that I read most every day. It was my pleasure to invite back so many of your best friends to this second annual Camp Mayo. But I can't wait for more young and aspiring athletes in the future to get the chance to know you at Camp Mayo as well. For them to be inspired from your work ethic, dedication, and joy that you bring to our Limitless family. And to most importantly teach so many, as you would put it so frequently, to not only be the best runner that we could be, but the best person too. Love, Coach Eric.